Welcome into week 16 of 5 picks in 5 minutes. I'm Tim Kalinowski, joined by Chris Raybon. It's the Christmas weekend edition of the NFL and our 5 picks. Last week, Raybon, you left the door ajar for me to make a comeback late in the season here. You went 0-2-1, push on the Minnesota game, but you are still 25-19-1 on the season, while I back to going 1-1. I'm 15-15 on the season. So even when you give me a chance, I still am up to my old tricks, just Jeff Fishering this whole thing. And before we put you on the clock in this Christmas weekend edition, just a reminder that you can tell all of our picks for free thanks to our sponsor, BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. They have an incredible offer for new users. Use bonus code ACTION when signing up to get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Week 16 of the NFL. Chris Raybon, you're on the clock.
All right, we're going with the Pittsburgh Steelers +2 home dogs against the Cincinnati Bengals. It's one of those hold your nose picks, but Cincinnati is now the #1 team in our luck rankings. They have overtaken Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. So that kind of shows you that as lucky as Pittsburgh has been, now, Cincinnati's kind of right there with them. Mike Tomlin, still a Tomlin spot as much as, everything's kind of crumbling around him. I love to bet teams in these kind of spots. Mike Tomlin is a dog off a loss, 66% against the spread in his career. As a home dog, 17-6 against the spread, 74%. And week 16 underdogs on 3-game losing streaks. Hasn't happened very often, but since 2007, they are 17-3 against the spread. So give me Pittsburgh +2 at home.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of noise around Mike Tomlin, too. Could this be it for him with the Steelers? So maybe one last time for a rah-rah Tomlin spot. You can't not. I'll be on that as well. My pick here, I'm going to go Kansas City -10 against the Las Vegas Raiders. And this is all about the Raiders for me. Listen, 12 teams have now scored 60 or more points since 1960. One of them was the last game of the season, so you can throw that out. But teams after scoring 60 plus, the next game they played, they're 2-8 straight up, 1-9 against the spread in the Super Bowl era. 4 weeks ago, Kansas City was a 9.5-point favorite at Las Vegas and, cleared that easily. And I'm thinking, what has changed in that time? But the Raiders poured it on against Easton Stick. The Chiefs lost in Buffalo and Green Bay's essentially game of the years. Mahomes is still 10-1 straight up, 7-4 against the spread in his career against the Raiders. These Chiefs are not quite the old Chiefs, but they're still 10 points better than the Aiden O'Connell shut out by the Vikings Las Vegas Raiders. Give me Kansas City -10.
Go Taylor Swift. Minnesota +3 is going to be my second pick. And, this Viking team, another home divisional dog here. This Viking defense is up to top 5 in DVOA. They can stop the pass, they can stop the run, but the key is they blitz on 50% of opposing dropbacks. Jared Goff is the #1 graded passer when not blitzed in PFF out of 41 qualifiers. When he's blitzed, he drops from 1st to 29th. So he goes from the best passer in the league to, essentially a fringe starter when he's blitzed and not blitzed. Brian Flores going to bring it to him. Week 16 conference underdogs that have covered less than half of their games in the last 5, 78, 45, and 3, 63% over the last decade. Give me Minnesota at home.
Yeah, you either got to blitz Jared Goff or play Jared Goff outdoors. That's kind of the formula right there. I'm looking for points in Baltimore and San Francisco over 47. Look, there's just something about Lamar Jackson against the NFC and specifically running the ball. And prior to that game against Jacksonville last week, Lamar was averaging nearly 13 more yards per game on the ground versus NFC teams rather than AFC teams. And Anthony DeBundo pointed out as well in an article on Action Network that the Niners defense, their rush defense, got a little bit exposed against Arizona last week, allowing 234 on the ground. We all know that the Niners, on their side of the ball offensively, they have exactly what it takes to expose this Ravens secondary. If only Jacksonville could have finished off some drives, I think we would have, been a little more akin to noticing what went on in that one. And look, just a, back of the cocktail napkin handicap here. The NFL, they're playing on Christmas Day. This has been the NBA's thing. I think the NFL recognizes the opportunity here, and they're going to give us some points. So Baltimore, San Francisco over 47, as square as it sounds.
All right, I'm going with that team that ran for 234 on the Niners, and that's the Arizona Cardinals +4 at the Chicago Bears. Listen, I came into the season, I love the Chicago Bears. I think they're playing well now, but I also don't think that they should be favored by more than a field goal against anyone this late in the season, especially the Cardinals with Kyler Murray back. Listen, the defense is still bad, but the Chicago defense has been getting real lucky over the past 4 games, 14 takeaways, a +6 turnover margin. I don't think that stands here. And the Cardinals, besides that Rams debacle, which happens to them every year, they just seem to get blown out by the Rams. They beat Atlanta as a dog. They lost to Houston by 5 with numerous chances to win that game. Beat Pittsburgh by 2 scores as a dog. And even though they didn't beat San Francisco or cover, they outgained San Francisco by 30 yards overall, put up 29 points, which ain't bad. So give me Kyler Murray as a road dog, 15-4 with 2 pushes in his career, 79% against the spread. Cardinals +4.
Yeah, and I think the sneaky best part of that matchup here might be the fact that Chicago in the fourth quarter has been pretty abysmal. I don't know how they put the clamps down, even if they are covering the 4 points heading into the fourth quarter. So Arizona looking like a live dog there. That'll do it for us this week. Like I said, this Christmas edition. So happy holidays to you, Raybon, Quincy, Hutton, everyone who works behind the scenes to make this all happen. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode, and comment below your favorite bets for this week. Good luck. Happy holidays, everyone. For Chris Raybon, I'm Tim Kalinowski. Have a wonderful week betting the NFL.